Let's see. Looks like we're actually online. Alrighty. Good, very good. All right, so hello everybody. It's Tuesday, episode 136 of Time Out Tuesday. And if you're watching this live or have any comments about what I'm saying or like it or dislike it, you can send some of those little emoji guys across the screen or certainly comment or anything like that. So anybody that's been listening to my videos over the last couple of months knows that, I've been talking a lot about adapting. And that's certainly going to be very true as we head towards this school year, where there's a lot of decision making going on. Schools are presenting their back to school options. Parents are weighing the positives, the benefits and the risks and everything associated with choosing which method they want their child to start taking classes as the semesters resume in September. And certainly there's going to be quite a lot of adaptation there regardless of which direction you go. And as I was thinking a little bit about this topic, it reminded me of an article that I read, and it was in a martial arts magazine, and the person started off with a story, and the story was basically that they were heading into a city, driving into a city, big city, and they were approaching a toll booth, and they were sitting in what amounted to be about 15 or 20 minutes of traffic, typical where they were heading, and that in and of itself was not a problem. But like any traffic situation, people sometimes get tense and anxious, and they're going to be late for their engagement and whatever. And they pulled up to the toll booth, and this must have been a while back because they pulled up to a toll booth operator, and the toll booth operator, greeted them with a big smile and said, "What a wonderful day it is to be going into the city. Hope you have a fantastic day." Collected their tolls and wished them a happy day. And they went in and they, didn't really think too much about it. Went in, did what they had to do during this day in the city. And then on the way back out at the same toll, they met with a different toll booth operator after spending about 15 minutes in traffic. And in this case, the toll booth operator was kind of disgruntled, didn't really seem to be happy, in her position or particularly happy with what was going on at the time, and just was kind of disgruntled and very matter of fact. And the person telling the story just pointed out that two people in the exact same situation, one that is making the most of it and trying to convey positivity towards people, the other one in the same exact situation really conveying more like negativity towards them. And how interesting it is that two people can be engaged in the exact same thing and look at it differently. And we certainly see a lot of that these days. There's a lot of divisiveness and opinions out there. But one of the things that he referenced in the article was a samurai saying. And the samurai saying, I'm reading it just to get it right, was, "Do what a weed does and bloom where planted." Let me say that again. Do what a weed does and bloom where planted. I think that when we're talking about adapting to situations like the ones that we're already adapting to and the ones that we're going to be adapting to, and certainly the ones that our children are going to be adapting to, and the teachers and all the other people that work in the schools, from the custodial staff to the nurses and social workers, everyone's going to have a pretty major adaptation over the next couple of months. And I think it's really important that we instill in our kids that it's important that they bloom where they're planted right now. Right now, they may be subjected to doing classes all online if that's what a parent has chosen. And it's important that we encourage them to make the best of that situation, that they should bloom in that situation. that they should bloom in a situation if they're put into a classroom and there's a lot of unusual rules and social distancing situations. They should bloom there. They should learn from that. These experiences are going to be very formative for our kids. It's going to shape them, and a lot of the way it shapes them, I believe, will be dependent on how we frame these circumstances for them. And if they're constantly hearing us talking about how terrible something is, or how impossible it is to teach someone this way, or impossible it is to learn something this way, we're setting the tone for them to fail, I suppose, in their endeavors. If, on the other hand, we encourage them to find the good in a situation, try to separate that from the things that they might not like about a situation, focus in on excelling in the good parts, it will shape them in a very positive way. Some of us are going to be putting our kids back into school, and a lot of the reasoning behind it has to do with the social aspect, the importance of children socializing. But when they get there, there's going to be a very different social environment than the one that they're used to. And it's a social environment that none of them have ever experienced. And it might even appear very institutionalized, very, line up, go this way, stay 6 feet apart, don't, take your mask off. Now you can take your mask off, but you got to put your mask back on. All those kind of things that are going to be enforced are going to change what they view as being a normal social experience. And I think it's important that we frame it for them as an experience, as something that they're going to learn and they're going to try to do the best at. Maybe they can even help make suggestions to make it even better. And I encourage people to not only frame things in a positive way for their children, so that they have the best bet of having a good experience as they move into these uncertain times. But the other thing is something that students of mine have heard for many years, and certainly anybody in my family. I always tell people, no backup, no plan. Make sure that whatever it is that you're planning on doing with your kids for the school, that you've got a backup plan if it starts not working out well, or if the schools have to pivot and change direction. We don't want to set our children up to go into a school for a socializing experience, and then if a school has to close down temporarily because of maybe an outbreak or some other event, and the student has to come back home and work in a virtual environment, we don't want them to have heard us say the reason why you're going to be, the reason why we had you in school was because this way doesn't work, but now you have to do this way. That's going to be a very tricky thing, especially for the younger students to understand. I really hope everybody is comfortable with the decisions that they're making. I hope that everybody succeeds in whichever direction they go in. And I hope we're all, ready to adapt again should something unexpected happen. So with that said, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I will see everybody at the dojo for regular Zoom classes. Peace, everybody.